Evil Ryu, the malevolent phase of Ryu, whose sole purpose is to raise violence and destruction. Evil Ryu's strength comes in the form of evil intent. When Ryu gets possessed by the Dark Hado, his appearance changes dramatically. One of his most noticeable changes is noted in his chest. Have you ever wondered why Evil Ryu has a massive hole in his chest? Not to worry, we have the answer for you. You will be surprised to find out why Evil Ryu has a hole in his chest. Without further ado, let me welcome you to the SciPunk feed. Originally appearing in the 1996 Street Fighter Zero manga, Evil Ryu was first included as a playable character in the Street Fighter Alpha 2. Satsui Ryu is a Japanese name meaning killing intent Ryu, or Dark Ryu. When Ryu succumbs to Satsui no Hado, he takes on this form. In defeating the Satsui no Hado, Ryu was able to purge his evil side, but he brought forth an even more formidable adversary. The Alpha series gave him a black headband as well. Evil Ryu first appeared as a palette swap of Ryu wearing a dark purple or black G. Additionally, his hair and skin had dark hue. One of these characteristics is the size of the hole in his chest. Have you ever wondered why he has a gigantic hole in the center of his chest? Well, there are 3 versions of how this happened. According to some sources, it might be based on the manga by Masahiko Nakahira, the author of Evil Ryu. Capcom seems to be honoring Masahiko Nakahira from Street Fighter Alpha manga, as well as the famous Ryu Final manga, in which Ryu nearly gets killed in battle against Akuma, where the latter punches through Ryu's chest. This is not the first time Capcom borrows ideas from Nakahira-san's manga. Masahiko Nakahira is a manga artist from Kochi City. He is best known for his numerous manga adaptations of the popular fighting game series Street Fighter. 2 of Nakahira's original concepts for his Street Fighter manga, the character of Evil Ryu and Karin Kansuki, were adapted into later video games. The hole on Evil Ryu's chest may be also linked to his master Gouken and Akuma. In his ending for Street Fighter 4, Gouken knocked Ryu out with a series of blows. That seal was placed by Gouken in order to prevent Ryu from using Satsui no Hado. In Street Fighter 4, Akuma finally arrives and finds Ryu lying on the ground and acknowledges that Gouken has no legitimate right to seal Ryu's power. In Evil Ryu Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition ending, it shows the sphere in his chest break, symbolizing the Satsui no Hado, with Ryu breaking free of the seal Gouken made, which also means Gouken horribly miscalculated how powerful Ryu's Satsui no Hado truly was. It also seems Ryu had no control over the Satsui no Hado. He attacks anything like a wild animal. Evil Ryu's appearance in Asura's Wrath is another possibility for explaining Evil Ryu's hole in its chest. In Ryu's guest appearance in Asura's Wrath, Asura launches Ryu into the moon from Earth and attempts to impale him with his fist. After he returns to normal, the scar disappears. He is cold, conceited, and driven by his need for dominance in the Street Fighter Alpha games. As a character in the Super Street Fighter 4, he has more demonic traits. While he shows some emotion, his anger has been purged from him, leaving only sociopathic attributes, even more so than M. Bison. He enjoys absolute power and lacks any sort of empathy or respect, and despises what he perceives as weakness from all of humanity, such as love, family, justice, and vengeance. He is also extremely brutal towards other fighters in general, especially to those that oppose him. Interestingly, his pre-fight and win quotes against Ken indicates that he still retains a minor degree of politeness to his former friend, as opposed to the brutal and vicious statements he makes to everyone else, including Gouken. Evil Ryu also refers to himself as heartless and nothing more but a demon, and will seek out and murder any opponent in a fight, regardless of their age and condition. He displays a very dangerous bloodlust, even borderline sadism, and ritualistic belligerence that almost borders on cannibalism, as seen in many of his pre-fight and win quotes. During Street Fighter Alpha 2, Akuma was able to sense the Satsui no Hado laying dormant within Ryu. Ryu vowed to reject the Satsui no Hado, but it wasn't enough to completely eliminate the Satsui no Hado, as it still resided within him. Thus, it must be noted that Evil Ryu does not exist as a separate character, though it is naturally possible in some games, such as the home versions of Capcom vs SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001, and some versions of the Street Fighter Alpha 3, for the player to include both normal Ryu and Evil Ryu in a battle, sometimes on the same team. In Street Fighter 4, The Ties That Bind, Evil Ryu appears during the scene with Ryu in the desert for a split second, in response to Akuma's speech about taking lives and getting stronger. He appears later on, just after Sea Viper finishes mauling Cammy in front of Ryu's eyes, in order to awaken his power. He is then taken over by the Satsui no Hado, and loses control of his actions, and he begins fighting Sea Viper, who had underestimated the dangerous power of the Satsui no Hado, and states that he was too powerful to be captured in his current state. Ken and Sakura suddenly arrived in the scene by car, which then distracted Evil Ryu, allowing Sea Viper the chance to retreat back to the SIN headquarters via her jet boots by leaping off a cliff. However, Evil Ryu ignored Ken's pleas to stop, and began destroying SIN equipment and chasing down the personnel relentlessly. Two of the remaining agents began firing at Evil Ryu with their handguns, only for their bullets to bounce off him, causing them to panic and run. One of the fleeing agents falls and sees Evil Ryu quickly approaching him. Sakura grabs Evil Ryu by the arm from behind and tries to push him back. He raises his arm to attack Sakura, but stops as he gazes at her face, and then reverts back to normal and collapses into his knees, starring in a slightly catatonic state, as he was realizing what he was about to do next. These three versions mentioned before might give you guys an insight of what happened to Ryu, and how he got a hole in his chest. So what did you like about Evil Ryu in this episode? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the center stage.